We help people and organizations to work together and communicate better. That takes us into the thorny area of communicating across cultures, and especially communication between the geopolitical West and Asia. Welcome to this latest series of How to Work with Humans. At Threshold, we train business leaders in the art of getting the best out of human beings. And here we explore the standout topics from our recent sessions and the science behind them. Let's take the example of Kate. Kate was with a large American bank until she was headhunted and relocated to London to work in the European office of a bank that was headquartered in Singapore. In the US bank, Kate was a high flyer, and it looked like the seam of good form would continue. In her first week in the new role, a large credit facility application from one of her target clients landed on her desk. Kate knew she would have to get approval from her opposite number, Song, in the Singapore corporate HQ. But that shouldn't be an issue, she figured. Kate soon kicked in with the playbook that had worked for her in the US bank. Knowing that Song would need to get the sign up from higher up the chain, she took the initiative and emailed his boss with all of the benefits of granting the facility. What's more, Kate used the very direct and urgent language that she would have used in the US. When we met up with Kate, relations were unraveling and she was thinking of leaving the organization. As many of us have discovered, we overlook culture at our peril. Asian cultures tend to be higher power distance. In other words, people are more deferential to seniors. Communication with seniors tends to be more formal and respectful, and openly challenging, questioning, or disagreeing with seniors would be seen as highly countercultural. In communication terms, most Asian cultures tend to be what's known as high context. This means both parties assume they have a shared sophisticated knowledge and understanding of the context, and so when communicating is subtle or indirect, it's seen as a courtesy to the other person. In a low context culture, one assumes that the others know nothing. Value is placed on spelling everything out and making things crystal clear. A high context style means indirect communication, whereas low context style means direct communication. Culture is real, it's powerful, and we should be sensitive to it. But is that really the whole picture? Are there times we should overwrite national cultures in the pursuit of a higher goal? This is where it gets more interesting. In aviation, the safety of a plane depends on having two sets of eyes and ears in the cockpit. If the co-pilot, the subordinate, sees something amiss, they'd better call it out promptly and directly to the pilot, the senior. Failure to speak up clearly to your boss costs lives. In 1994, Boeing published safety data that showed a clear correlation between high power distance cultures and plane crashes. By 1997, the accident rate of Korean Airlines was 14 times that of the leading US airline. In 2000, Korean Airlines took action. Pilots, co-pilots, and flight engineers received training that encouraged speaking frankly, clearly, and directly to authority. This went against the Korean culture, but now its national carrier is one of the safest in the world, and this type of training is a standard of the industry across the world. Some argue that national cultures should always be respected, almost sacrosanct. Others argue that culture matters, but we're not hostages to it. We can make wise choices. What matters is what it takes to get the job done. What do you think? To find out more about Threshold and how we can help leaders in your organization to get the best out of human beings, go to threshold.co.uk. You can watch the rest of our How to Work with Humans series on our channel. Do share and subscribe.